Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Let's Play Riven. Last time we ended up here, question mark, on the in the land of Riven, with no idea what to do next. I think I got really confused and was just like, oh, okay, well, we'll leave it there. Kind of like last time, I'm a bit worn out. I'm tired. I have not been doing anything well, particularly sleeping. This week. Combination of heat and also various personal stuff. So, this might be a short session too. Last time it was because I got really confused. Because I know there's got to be something up here. Has to be something in here, maybe. Right, that's there. Right, we can interact. We can't interact with this, so we've got to do something first. Right, so yes, so I am worn out. Is there maybe something around here that I'm missing? Oh. Oh, that's just sending me there. I'm not actually turning around. Oh! What? Oh, wait, what? I found a thing. So yeah, I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing. Oh, there's no, oh dear. No, that's as far around as that goes. I have to find a thing to. Oh, there's a thing that I can't interact with, and it looks a bit like an eye. So that's a bit creepy. Okay, so we'll try going. Is there a thing this side? Oh, we did a thing. We found a thing. Progression. Okay, maybe not as much progression as we thought, or I thought. Oh, and I can't. Can I not go up that? Right. Okay. Okay, so there's only the two options, so we'll put that there. So that was a lever thing. That's. Has that changed this then? No. Has that affected this? Oh, it has. I am deliberately avoiding the book. I'm scared. 87,728. Last week, while monitoring the situation of the villagers from the scope in my survey room, I observed one of the natives swim out to a small object that appeared to be floating, but anchored, near the entrance to the bay. I ordered the object removed from the water for inspection. Several days later, however, I was surprised to see another floating there. The missing object had apparently, and quite mystically, been replaced with a new one overnight. I've long been aware of the existence of similar artifacts on the village's island, but have paid them little notice until now. Tomorrow, I shall send surveyors to catalogue the others. Oh, these things. I should try and remember these numbers, these symbols. Right, I'm going to actually make a note. I can't... So that's basically 3 from a Roman numerals perspective. Let's open the book. What could possibly go wrong? Right. 82,213. The latest ink formulation has proven a failure. Even when writing in my most promising books, I obtain only the barest glimmer of a connection. Oh, this is, Thingy. Gain? I think. Who's trying to he's trying to get back to Dunny. It's frustrating to spend so much effort crafting a blank book only to end up destroying it when it doesn't work. There are days when the lab is uncomfortably warm from the flames of these failed attempts. The further I refine each element, the formulation of the inks and papers, the physical dimension of the books, the more I realize that the list of potential combinations is nearly infinite. It is during moments like these that I despair. Without access to Dunny, my long-term goals may never be accomplished. Nevertheless, there are avenues of research which seem to be which remain to be explored. 8258. I'm discontinuing regular observation of the stars beneath the fissure, although I've been able to track the dark cloud-like formations that migrate through the starfield and have proven that their paths are cyclical. Without proper instrumentation, it is pointless to continue. My general theory concerning the nature of the fissure has remained unaltered since it first appeared. It seems that the fabric of this age has been breached in a way that permits matter to be hospitably exchanged between two discrete but overlapping spaces, much like a link. But the apparent physical contradictions surrounding this juncture defy logical reason. The great column of wind that was formed when the fissure first appeared suggests a vacuum, as one might expect in space. Yet my early experimentations revealed the presence of a breathable atmosphere. That Atris... Is that an R? Yeah, that's an R. Atris and Catherine threw themselves into the void is further evidence that it might be safe to travel, but without knowing its true nature, I cannot take the risk myself. It is also difficult to say what would happen if I were to reopen it after so long, but it is likely that the results would be catastrophic given the changes that have occurred in this age since that time. Maintenance on the steam vent caps completed. 83.210. I am extremely pleased with the continued success of this system. I believe the construction to have been true to the dunny designs of my memory, another example of the superiority of the dunny technology. It's ironic that Atris and Catherine unwittingly provided me with such a convenient source of power. As with many of my views over the year, my thoughts regarding the origin of the fissure have changed. I've recently begun to wonder whether it was actually an unexpected byproduct of the changes Catherine and Atris wrote into this age during their escape. Certainly by casting their linking book into the void, they trapped me here quite effectively, but I do not believe that Atris intended the book to be lost in this manner. Much better to destroy it than to risk the possibility of its falling into unknown hands. Also, and is that how we stumbled into Mist to begin with? Ooh, maybe. Also, had they foreseen the creation of the fissure, they would surely have thought that the vacuum it created would eventually consume the atmosphere of this planet, a fate which Catherine undoubtedly would have deemed unacceptable for her homeworld. If I had not been there to supervise the construction of the seal, that is most certainly what would have happened, for the villagers were far too frightened to even approach the vortex without my urging. I hold on to the belief that it was an unintended consequence of their writing for another reason as well. I prefer to think that my son had meant for this age to be merely a prison for me, rather than a death sentence. 83.514. The construction of the images has proceeded without fault. It is interesting to see how easily I've been able to adapt the dunny technology to mimic that of the Ahmad, I think that's what it is. In some ways, the similarities between the two cultures was striking. I wonder... Ooh, this is from the other place. From the first island. I wonder if perhaps there had been communication or commerce between the two cultures in earlier times. Maybe Kita's people were even descendants of the dunny. It pleased me to think so. Note, it's possible that if I was somehow able to supply the books with a power source of sufficient magnitude, I could suppress the variance enough to facilitate a solid link. It is doubtful that the geothermal cap generators could provide such an enormous surge. Perhaps I could adapt the fine marbles. I've been cataloguing the natural elements of this age for nearly 30 years now, yet still I continue to find evidence of the dunny's preoccupation with 5. As a boy, it was very clear to me that the number 5 had a special significance to the dunny society. From the ancient heraldic emblems of the ruling elite to the humble homes of the commoners, it was ubiquitous. Its presence here is obviously a direct reflection of the minds that designed the text that I used to compose this age. Further proof that through their art, the dunny masters were indeed creating the marvellous worlds they wrote, and not, as many mistakenly thought, merely building links to pre-existing worlds. While most of my constructions have been based on dunny designs, I see now that the ones that I have imbued with the power of 5 are clearly the most beautiful, the most perfect, and, I believe, the most structurally sound. I'm still attempting to determine how the dunny colour symbology reflects the superior design principle. Although superficially it is based on a 6 colour system, I am convinced that there has to be a deeper connection to 5. I will continue to investigate. So this is a little symbol pattern. I'm going to make a note of this. Just in case it becomes relevant. Is that a full stop or is that another symbol? I'll write this as well just in case. 83,911. I've finally made a breakthrough. I've succeeded in modifying the fire marbles to generate enough power to hold a descriptive linking book in a stable matrix. I've linked to a new world. It is a harsh and desolate age, but it is nonetheless well suited for my purpose. And so I've designated my... Okay, right, we're going to draw that symbol as well, roughly. And then there's like a K bit. Is that right? I think so. By studying it closely, I believe I'll eventually be able to create a more appropriate age for us to resettle on. For now, I will build an office and set up my living quarters there in order that I may conduct my experiments in safety and without distraction. I must admit that I'm proud of my work. To think that in such primitive conditions I've accomplished in 29 years what it took the original Dunny centuries to achieve. Note, repair outerwear for work on this world. The goggles may need to be redesigned altogether. 84,413. I've begun construction on a series of link sites for each island that will connect Riven with my new office on that place. The Survey Guild has finally completed the site location for each island. According to my exact specifications, and installation of the domes is underway at last. Work on the central power source got off to a bit of a bad start, I'm afraid, but the pace has picked up considerably since then, and I anticipate no further delays. I'm looking forward to finally having a civilized mode of transportation. So this is what we were looking at before. This is where we got to with the gold. So... should I draw that as well? I'm going to draw that one as well. But I think the key thing, so there's spokes on a wheel and there's 5. It's always 5. I mean, that's got 5 symbols. That's just got that's 4 squares in a square shape. That's an L. And then there's one on the top right, and then... and then you've got the 3 at the bottom. It's not particularly well drawn. Oh my goodness. Due to the rebels' continued disturbances, I've decided to install a coded access system into all of the domes. Right, we're definitely going to need to draw that one. That. And then you've got down, and then you've got like a V. If I can draw, which I can't draw. Right, 8567. Wow, that's almost a year later. Or was it over a year later? I caught one of my assistants looking over this journal today. I'm glad I've chosen to write it in a language they cannot decipher. Note, discuss security with each guild master. No problems expected from the maintainers, educators, and surveyors. Question the bookmakers and builders more closely. 861024. Yeah, wow, over a year. Today I heard several more reports of spirit sightings by some of the villagers. It seems that under Catherine's leadership, the rebels, as the Black... I don't want to say moisty. I don't know. The rebels, the villagers, obstinately insist on referring to them, have attained a new level of sophistication in their terror tactics and have renewed their campaign to intimidate the villagers into joining them, playing upon their shared superstition. The villagers are constantly susceptible to this form of coercion, especially given of late the rebels' increasing acts of vandalism and theft. 87-115. The Itram traps, I think, is that a Y? Must be. Have been steadily fruitful this year. Apparently the breakup of the islands has not adversely affected the subterranean ecosystems. Unfortunately, I imagine the rebels are experiencing a similarly generous harvest. No shortage of poison for their darts this season. Such morbid issues aside, the sudden availability has allowed me to refine a particularly pleasant extract from my pipe, one that is smoother than any of the others from recent years. 87-329. So he's taking the same he's smoking their poison. Okay. 87-329. Chemical analysis of one of the rebel knives has yielded curious results. Its composition contains elements that are unlike anything I've encountered on the islands. It appears they have access to a resource of which I am unaware. Perhaps a mine as an uncharted island. We saw those on the first one, this shape. On the first island we came onto a lot. Most of the knives have been found on the south side of the village. This is the same area in which there have been reports of people mysteriously disappearing. I think a closer inspection of the area is warranted. The fact that they leave these distinctive knives as a sign of their presence concerns me. They're growing more bold and seem to no longer fear discovery of their hideout. 87-627. The latest measurements indicate that the recent trend has continued. The movement of the islands has slowed tremendously. My previous estimates predicted a total collapse in approximately 3 months, but with the new figures, I'm uncertain. I've nearly finished writing the... I don't know if I need to write this, but I'm going to. These are numbers. I'm assuming with the th and the th and the urd from the previous one, or maybe and. Yeah, that's the other one I've got. They must be numbers. Well, these are ordinal numbers, but I assume that these are symbols for cardinal numbers. And every faith that it will indeed be a safe place for us to relocate to, yet it would be helpful to know what has caused the halt in this age's breakup. Is it possible that it's stable after all? If so, I must discover how this age differs from my less successful attempts. My examinations of the and age have thus far proved inconclusive. I mean, if the other symbols are also numbers, then I'd assume that these are 2-digit numbers. No, I was reading that. No. Ugh. Right, I'm gonna flick back. Oh, no. Oh, brilliant. It saves where we are. Huh. Or perhaps someone is repairing the damage to the 5th age. If so, I would almost certainly be actresses doing. So how come it's 5th and these are symbols? I have reluctantly decided to abandon my experiments into the behaviour of the water of this age, as there are more pressing matters on which I must now concentrate, leaving me little time for such speculative research. For future reference, however, my investigations up to this point have revealed the following. I believe the remarkable properties of the water to be caused by a life form that resides within it, specifically a type of bacteria. I'm imagining mobile, surely? That's a T. Mobile unicellular organism. I don't know. Or maybe it's a word I don't know. But one with structures capable of holding bits of water, whose combined effect, via surface tension, a stronger force, causes the composite body of water to move in response to heat. Prolonged exposure to extreme heat, for example, a period of extended boiling, seems to kill the bacteria, which would explain its dramatic aversion to heat sources. Unfortunately, these theories are still not fully tested, and I remain ignorant both of its deeper nature and its possible uses. 8776. An exciting development. Last night, a squad of maintainers stumbled upon a lone rebel scout and obtained from him a most incredible device. It is a crystal that somehow powers these flawed linking books, much as my own system does, but with an obvious advantage. It is small and weighs only a few pounds, making it completely portable. Catherine must have fabricated the device before I captured her. Obviously, with an explicit dunny schematic she must have brought with her to this age. If only I'd have access to such a document all these years. Regardless, I can now concentrate solely on the waiting of ages, and need no longer worry. The uniting of ages? Oh. And need no longer worry. What's it say over here? Writing. The writing, of course. The writing of ages. And need no longer worry about building elaborate power supplies for each new book I write. This is a sobering reminder, however, that I must continue to seek an avenue to Dunny. Regaining access to the resources there may be crucial to the completion of my mission. Okay. But we don't know what his mission is. We don't know what he's up to.